A company took 35 gas turbines, the kind that normally sit inside a power station, and parked them in an open field in a residential neighborhood in South Memphis. Then it switched them on. It had no permit to do that. It did anyway. And it did it because the alternative was worse. The alternative was waiting. Waiting years for the electricity grid to have room. Because the hardest thing to buy in America right now is not a chip, or an engineer, or a piece of land. It is power. And the cost of going out and getting it has already landed somewhere. It landed on the electricity bill of people who never asked for any of this. Start with what one of these buildings actually is. No windows. Almost nobody inside. A site drawing 1 gigawatt can run with a few dozen staff. A gigawatt is the output of a large nuclear reactor. It is roughly what a city of 1 million people uses. One building, one customer, one meter. Now the grid it plugs into. For about 20 years, American electricity demand barely moved. Efficiency kept cancelling out growth. Utilities planned for exactly that, and built for a country that would need roughly the same power every year forever. Then in about 3 years, they were asked for more new capacity than the country already had. So, the first thing almost nobody knows about electricity. You cannot buy it the way you buy anything else. There is no warehouse. What you are actually buying is a promise that at the exact second you flip a switch, somebody somewhere is generating exactly that much. Every second, continuously. And that promise has to be built years in advance, which means when a data center wants power, it does not place an order. It joins a queue. The utility studies whether the wires can take it, and if they cannot, what has to be built first. In Northern Virginia, Phoenix, and Dallas, that wait is now 4 to 7 years. The median across America is about 5. Now the part that explains everything after it. An American investor-owned utility does not make its profit by selling you electricity. It makes it by building things. Regulators let it earn an approved rate of return on the capital it puts in the ground. Wires, substations, generators, the more it builds, the more it earns. Read that again as an incentive. A forecast saying demand is about to explode is not a problem for a utility. It is permission. Permission to spend billions and to earn a guaranteed return on every dollar of it for the next 40 years. Whether the demand actually shows up is a separate question and a separate person's problem. There is a second market underneath all of this, and it is stranger. In most of the eastern United States, generators get paid twice. Once for the electricity they actually produce, and once separately just for promising to be available on the worst day of the year. That second payment is called capacity. It gets auctioned. The auction runs on a forecast. The grid operator estimates how much power the region will need at its worst hour, then buys promises until it has enough. If that forecast climbs and the supply does not, the price does not rise gently. Everyone gets paid the price of the last, most expensive promise bought. So watch what happened in PJM, the grid running 13 states and Washington, D.C. The total capacity charge there was $2.2 billion. Then the data center forecast arrived. It hit $14.7 billion. PJM's own market monitor found data centers were 63% of the increase, about $9.3 billion. And that money does not come from the data centers. Capacity is a system cost. It gets spread across everyone connected to the system, in proportion to how much they draw at peak. So a household in Maryland pays a share of a promise made to a building in Virginia that it will never enter and does not know exists. Now the part money cannot fix. To move power at that scale, you need large transformers. In 2020, you could order one and wait about a year. Today the wait is 4 to 5 years. There is no premium that shortens it. The factories that make them are already sold out. Gas turbines are worse. Orders reached about 110 gigawatts against a world that can build 60 to 70 a year. Prices are up nearly 200% since 2019. So the companies stopped waiting. If the grid cannot give you power, you build your own. That has a name: going behind the meter. You build your own generation on your own land, and you stop waiting in the queue. But you do not actually leave the system. You still want the grid sitting there on the day your own turbines fail. You still want the backup. Historically, you did not pay much for it. And none of it happens unless a county says yes. So counties compete. Property tax abatements of 50 to 100% for 10 to 20 years are normal in Georgia. The town gives up the tax base, the utility builds the wires, and the electricity bill goes up. That is how 35 turbines end up in a neighborhood. Those turbines in Boxtown were not a stopgap that quietly went away. The company applied for permits for 15 of them. Reuters later counted 59 unpermitted turbines across its sites. The permit that was granted allows every 12 months 87 tons of smog forming nitrogen oxides and 9.8 tons of formaldehyde. Boxtown is a majority black neighborhood in South Memphis. The cancer risk there is about 4 times the national average, and it was already that way before any of this arrived. Residents went to public hearings and described a smell like rotten eggs. They were told The turbines were temporary. That was more than a year ago. The promise that buys all of this is jobs. Construction does employ thousands for about 2 years. Then the trucks leave. A finished site runs on a security desk, a maintenance crew, and a handful of engineers. Apple took $321 million in subsidies for a North Carolina site that permanently employs 50 people. $6.4 million of public money per job. Meanwhile, the forecasts kept climbing, and this is the point where they stopped being trustworthy. In a single year, utilities received requests to connect at least 700 gigawatts of new load. The entire United States, everything, everyone, averages about 477. The requests were bigger than the country. That is not because 700 gigawatts of data centers exist. It is because applying costs almost nothing. One project shops itself to 5 utilities in 5 states, takes a queue position in each, then picks whoever says yes fastest. 5 utilities each start planning for a building that will only ever be built once. While all of that was being sorted out, the bills went out. Between March 2021 and March 2026, average residential electricity prices rose 94% in Washington, D.C., 74 in Maryland, 73 in Maine, 58 in New York. In Virginia, one man opened a January bill for $281. Now be careful, because this is where the story usually gets stretched. Data centers are not the only cause. Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory lists aging equipment and clean energy rules alongside them. And that figure of 267% everyone quotes is wholesale cost, not your bill. Supply is only a third to a half of what you pay. So the honest version is narrower, and it is still damning. In the specific places where data centers concentrated, they are the largest single driver of the increase. In a few other places, they have actually pushed bills down for now by spreading fixed costs across more sales, which holds right up until the building stops. And then there is the one nobody had on their list. 3 Mile Island, shut down in 2019 because it could not make money, is being restarted. 835 megawatts on a 20-year contract, all of it going to one company, not to the grid, to Microsoft. And if you want to know where this ends up, somebody is already there. In Ireland, data centers went from about 5% of the country's electricity to roughly 22%. That is more than every urban home in the country put together. Their own grid operator has projected it could reach 31%. The regulator called it a risk to security of supply. The politics caught up fast. In 1 year, lawmakers in more than 30 states introduced over 300 bills about data centers. Moratoriums, tax rules, rate rules, electricity prices, which have not decided an election in most people's lifetimes, are now on the ballot in the midterms. And then somebody counted the concrete. Sightline tracked 140 data center projects announced for this year. Only about 5 gigawatts of it is actually under construction. None in person and Klee, and core. The rest is announcement. Not delayed, not slow. Announced, and then nothing on the ground. The grid is being rebuilt around a number that may not be real. But the substation is real. So is the transmission line, and the plant, and the debt. Those are financed over 30 to 40 years. The forecast that justified them is about 3 years old. If the load never arrives, the wires do not go away. Somebody still repays them. And by default, that somebody is everyone else on the system. Not through a vote. Not through a law anyone passed. Through a rate case. In a hearing room. In front of a commission most people cannot name. Decided years before the first invoice arrives. In Boxtown, they can hear it. In Maryland, it is a line item. In Pennsylvania, it is a reactor coming back. Same machine. Different ends of it. Almost nobody paying for it was ever asked. So who is fixing it? As of May, 23 states had approved something called a large load tariff, a separate rate class for enormous customers, written so they pay the real cost of serving them instead of it being smeared across everyone else. The strongest version is in Ohio, where a data center pays for 85% of the power it reserved, whether it uses it or not, with collateral upfront. But the clearest answer came from Ireland. The grid operator simply stopped connecting new data centers around Dublin. That freeze ran for years. It has now been lifted with one condition. If you want to connect, you bring your own generation. Enough to cover everything you draw. Not a subsidy. Not a promise. Your own power. Most of the American concrete was poured before that argument even started. Those turbines were never really about Memphis. They are what it looks like when an industry wants power faster than a country can build, and the invoice goes to whoever was already standing there.